Fuck yeah, dudes. This is the Lime and Lemon podcast. Back at it again. Am I right, Lemon?
Today we're gonna be I'm alright. Today we're gonna be discussing about the tumor on video games and how it's really affecting a lot of the things we enjoy, especially when it comes to video gaming. For a prime example being, fuck Konami, right? First of all,
Konami,
fuck them. Okay, now a prime example being DLC and how a lot of companies have a tendency to cut content, such as prime example again being Battlefield, EA's Battlefield 1 for those of you. The thing is, they did a stupid thing, right? Where what is World War One known for in terms of armies? The main ones that fought it were the French, and they completely cut out the French and added them in as DLC. Even the French had to pay to play as the French. You know, they didn't even let the people from that country have the DLC for free. So instead they were like, fuck you all have to fucking play as the French, and it's becoming such a common practice. And we're enabling it.
Yeah.
We are the fucking enablers. You get me?
As long as people buy it, you know, they'll continue to do it. And that's kind of the problem. It's a bit of a vicious cycle. I think we were talking about that earlier on. It's a vicious cycle where you enable them to do it because they know that they can get away with it because you'll still buy it. People will complain, but they'll still buy into it. I mean,
it's just, the thing is, we already pay, for those of you in America, you pay probably like $50-$60 for your games. It's not that far off in the UK either. We pay at least a good £50 for our games. I mean, I bought my copy of Battlefield 1 for £50, right? I got suckered in a bit, but I didn't pre-order it. I'm happy about that. I did not pre-order that fucking game, thank God. But I ended up buying that game for £50. And once I had finished the storyline, I felt kind of like a dickhead a bit, because it felt like that, you know, they purposely made the fucking storyline so short. I think it was like around about 4 to 5 hours and you were fucking done with it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And then you were expecting, like, me personally, I was expecting so much more from that game.
Well, it has so much potential.
Prime example being trench warfare. I mean, they could have taken that one aspect of World War One, one crucial fucking aspect of World War One, the trench warfare, and created a heart-wrenching, gut-wrenching story just about the trench warfare. Forget the tank, the chemical warfare and everything. Just by being in the trenches, they could have created something amazing, but they didn't. And it's the same thing in multiplayer mode. It feels like you're playing fucking Battlefield 1, World War 1 plus 2 when you play online. The World War 1 aspect of it has, in a way, been cut out, you know? Because you're playing... You literally feel like playing a Call of Duty game at the end of the day. You're running sorry about that. You're running around shooting everything. You get me? I mean, I know it's the FPS and whatnot, but you have to remember during World War One, which the game is about, by the way, during World War One, you could never do that. You know, you had two sides stuck in trenches, waiting for the right moment to go over the top. And it's basically like playing Russian roulette. Whether or not you fucking live or die. You get me? And there's this whole other practice, you know, about microtransactions, which is also in Battlefield 1. But I want to say it's not the worst. You know, the only way microtransactions are used in this game are you're buying skins. You get me? Battle packs, different skins for your for your gun and whatnot, which is unacceptable. But since it's being practiced, at least you're not buying to get better. You get me? Pay to win. Yeah. A lot of these games are doing this. It's like a fucking, what do you call it, pass, like, here you go, next person, here you go, and it's basically a form of gambling in a way. You know, these microtransactions.
Like CS:GO, Lotto, and that whole thing that
my
happened
God.
months ago.
That was crazy. That shit was crazy. But the ones that take the cake when it comes to microtransactions are, I believe, Ubisoft and Activision. Activision, because I think it was either Ubisoft or Activision that had a game where it was literally pay to win, where you're paying for shit to get better at the game. No, sorry, no, it was EA. My apologies, it is EA. In Star Wars Battlefront 2, by the way, you can buy these little star cards, I think, or star packs, or whatever the fuck they're called. You buy these little star packs. And these little star packs, I believe, give you EXP or something.
Jesus Christ.
So you know the motherfuckers with money are gonna buy that shit like there's no tomorrow, right? And you're gonna be thrown into a game where it's no longer about skill. It's gonna be all about whose daddy has the most money. You get me? It feels like it feels like they're so out of touch with the consumers, but these rich assholes. I want to say rich, sorry, but these assholes are just buying into it, and they're making it worse for every fucking one who are buying games for the pure fun of it.
Mm.
You know, you got these dickheads like, for I just said, the EA games, Battlefront 2. You know, you're gonna have these dickheads buying these star packs or star cards. I don't know the correct name, but they're gonna be buying all this shit, and they're gonna be getting ahead. The unfair way, might I say, the unfair way, and we're gonna be here playing legit, trying to level up in a legit way, trying to get all the things the legit way. It's the same thing with For Honor, which was, I believe, Ubisoft.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
They didn't have a system like this, but they also had a system where you could win each match, right, or get a certain amount of kills or something like that, and you get a special reward. Or you could be that rich bastard that buys the packs and gets everything before everyone. And they've purposely created it in such a way where someone did the math for it, where it would take at least, I believe, at least about a couple of years for you to get everything on all the packs on For Honor the fair way. And I'm thinking, like, what the fuck? You get me? What the fuck? It's crazy. It's crazy that we're allowing these companies to do this. It's like if you're being raped and you're like, you know what, go for it. What have I got to lose? What have I got to lose but my dignity? It's like that in a way. We're losing our gaming dignity. You get me? It's like that. And then on top of that, you got companies making shitty DLCs.
Mm.
You get me? Like Batman Arkham City.
Yeah, I think that's a great example of both shitty DLCs and cutting game content. So I bought Arkham City twice, fall on me. I bought it on PS3 and then I bought it with all the DLC on my laptop on PC. And so when I played it the first time, there are bits and pieces when I played it the first time on my PS3 without any of the DLC. I played it and I didn't quite understand bits of the story. I was like, oh, this feels a bit empty. But I continued on with it and I just kind of put it behind me. I guess things that maybe they just ignored that part of the story, or something got cut on the writing room floor. Then I played it on my laptop years later and found out, hold on a second, there's a whole Catwoman story arc that had been cut from the original game and made into DLC, but it was so integral to parts of the plot. Like, literally the first thing that happens when you start up this game is you play as Catwoman. The first fucking thing when you play with the DLC enabled, right? And that's part of the main game. It fits into the story. It's not like a separate system. It's built in to the game, the main plot. And the fact that this happened and I played with it. I was like, oh, hold on a second. This is giving me all this information that I hadn't been given in the first time I played it. It's just insane. It's just insane that people are able to cut content and turn it into fucking DLC or sell it again later on. And another example is Hitman, the latest Hitman, I think it was, and Deus Ex. Both of those games have been cut up into episodes. And they should be one single game, but they're being sold as separate episodes, separate chapters, and they're being sold as something like with The Walking Dead, the Telltale games, where it's like, oh, there's
Final Fantasy VII.
There's episodes, there's chapters, or it's like a story, but no, it's a game. You've just cut it up and selling it to us in bits and pieces. It's insane that actually happens. What were you saying about Final Fantasy?
Yeah, the Final Fantasy VII had also been cut up into episodes. Originally, it was announced as a whole game. Because the Blu-ray, right, the Blu-ray CD, back when the PlayStation 1 was the whole new hot thing and everything, and Final Fantasy VII came out, that, obviously because of the hardware and it being one of the early generations, it makes sense for it to be on different CDs. Like you had disc 1, disc 2, disc 3. It made sense because obviously this is a whole new era that just started. The CD era had just started. So it made a lot more sense for that to happen. But with the whole advent of the Blu-ray and the whole PlayStation 4 and how there's been a big leap from the PlayStation 1 to the PS4, obviously, it doesn't make sense for them to kind of fuck us over like this and cut a game which can easily fit on one Blu-ray, right? I believe the maximum capacity of a Blu-ray is 50 gigabytes, right? I think you can get higher ones, but from what I know, it's 50 gigabytes, which is more than enough to fit a game like Final Fantasy VII. So what they've done is, instead of Square Enix, that's the bastard's name, instead of Square Enix giving us a whole game that we deserve, right, they're cutting it up into episodes. So you got the first episode, then you're going to have a second one, then the third one, then the fourth one. You get me? A lot of new people out there are going to say, oh, but the original game was like that. You had disc 1, disc 2, disc 3, disc 4. But no, that doesn't justify it. You also had Metal Gear Solid, right? Which was disc 1, disc 2, disc 3, disc 4 on PlayStation 1. The original Metal Gear. Well, not the original one, but one of the original ones on PS1. Which was on 4 different discs, 3 or 4. Which made sense. But the minute they went to PlayStation 2, it was all on one disc. Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater, and there was another one that was all on one disc. Even the PS3 one, Guns of Patriots, was on one disc. Even the one on PS4, Metal Gear Solid 5, fuck Konami, Metal Gear Solid 5 was on one disc. So I don't get what Square Enix are playing at when they're trying to justify, Final Fantasy VII being on what were they different episodes. It's the same thing like.
Are they selling the episodes different separately?
Yeah. That's
insane.
And people are gonna pay for it. You idiots out there are gonna pay for it. You're gonna get suckered into this bullshit. I might be one of them. But that's the thing. Like, we shouldn't be allowing them to do this. I mean, think about it. This is not consumer friendly. You get me? All those movies we used to watch about corporations taking over and all of that, we used to be like, oh, that's crazy. It's happening. You get me? It's happening. But again, with the shitty DLC, I want to say another thing about Batman Arkham City, right? That's the latest one. Batman Arkham City, one fucking
which one? What, Arkham
City? Arkham Knight.
Arkham Knight, okay.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. Arkham Knight. One fucking shitty thing they did was they put in for the DLC, right? Again, it looked like they cut content up, but whatever. Each story DLC is about 1 hour to half an hour. I had the Harley Quinn DLC, I believe it was. The Harley Quinn DLC. That shit lasted me a half an hour. I think no,
How much was it?
15 minutes to half $7.99.
Fuck. That's just... It's not really justified, is it?
Nope, it's really not. Whereas when you talk about good DLC like The Witcher, which everyone talked about The Witcher, but again, there's a reason for it. The reason everyone talked about The Witcher is because you don't feel like when they released the DLC, the story DLC, it had about 20 hours, approximately 20 hours of fucking content, story content, and you're like, yeah, I'll happily pay $11.99 for that. That's what you call worth your money. You get me? That's worth your money. But what was about Dragonborn that you wanted to say?
I think an example of DLC that works, I guess, is worth it, like you were saying. The first thing that came to my mind was the Dragonborn DLC for Skyrim, because I mean, if you've ever played Skyrim, you know that it's a fucking huge game anyway. And so the Dragonborn DLC, I'm not saying all Skyrim DLC was good. Some of it was really half-assed and should have been part of the game. Cough, cough. Half fire, whatever it's called. That should all been included in the game in the first two. But the Dragonborn DLC was actually really good because it added in an entire new island into the game and added hours of new content that you could explore this island, and just a bunch of extra shit, you know. And that's a good thing. And there are probably better examples out there, but that was just the first thing that came to my mind. And I think that was actually the pinnacle point for me when I realised, is some of this DLC actually worth it? Because I played it and I thought, this has actually added a lot to my game. And then I looked at other DLC, not necessarily DLC that I bought. I don't tend to buy a lot of DLC for the reasons that we've been talking about, but like, I finally kind of thought about, is it really worth paying this amount of money for this amount of return?
Mm.
And I guess that's been the question ever since, really. Like, is it worth it? I don't think so. Not for what we've been talking about. Not for shitty DLC.
Yeah. I mean, another point is that half of these games end up being rushed.
Well, yeah, Arkham Knight had such a shit launch date on Steam anyway. The Steam launch date
that was
awful.
a fucking nightmare.
It was a shambles.
Fuck.
And funny enough, it's all those AAA games. Unity, Assassin's Creed Unity, was one of the worst launched games in history. Awful. And the thing is, they patched parts of it. It was an awful game. It's still an awful game. I played it like a couple of months ago, and I didn't even finish the game. I got about not even halfway through it, I don't think, and I just gave up because it's still shit in terms of its glitchiness. But they patched it, and it's not as bad now as it was on the launch date.
Yeah.
But it was so rushed. It's so rushed.
I mean, another example is Final Fantasy 15. They announced that game way back when the PS3 was relevant. When the PS3 was very relevant. I mean, they because they had announced it that far back, they had no choice but to shift it onto the PS4 because the PS4 was, on its eve of being launched. So once the PS4 was launched, we started seeing all these new trailers for the PS4, right? And even the Xbox One, but honestly, who gives a fuck about that? But when we saw the trailer for the PS4, everything looked great. It really did look great, right? And then we waited, I think 2-3 years, and it came out, I believe, last year, 2016. And when everyone got it on launch day and started playing it, we were like, hold on a minute. This is not what they've been showing. A lot of the content within the game was not in there. They gave us a half-finished game, and they admitted this. They gave us a half-finished game because they rushed it. This is the fucking pinnacle problem with Square Enix. they keep announcing games before they're fucking finished. And they do this with their best IPs, such as Final Fantasy. But we'll get on to that early announcement in a bit. We'll get on to that. But again, Final Fantasy 15 was a rushed game. But there are also good games, right, that aren't rushed. Prime example being The Witcher, which was announced at a certain date, and you can tell once it came out they've been working on it, and it really was. I mean, everyone uses Witcher nowadays as to prove that is a really good game, which it is. For those of us who have played it, it was a brilliant game and a prime example of why you should take your time when you make a game. A lot of the problems are that once you announce the game and build up that hype, you better be ready to, show what you have. I believe when Witcher was announced, they did have a foundation of a game. You get me? And then they just continue, and then they launched, and then they showed the trailer, and then after they showed the trailer, they kind of worked on it a bit more, then they launched it. That's how you do it. You work on the game or the foundation of a game first, and then you announce it like, this is what we're working on. And then you launch it. And then you'll have a very successful launch day. Like you just said with Arkham City and Unity having horrible launch days because they rushed it. And I believe it's the same thing with, like you said, Arkham City. I believe Warner Brothers might have told Rocksteady to hurry the fuck up. Because we want that money. We want that moolah.
Yeah.
You feel me? But another important factor that plays into rush games is the whole pre-order fucking culture. This whole nonsense, this whole bullshit that we end up doing, which is pre-ordering games because we're so hyped for them. I mean, that barely used to that was never this prevalent back in the day. Back in the day, they had something to show. They had customer loyalty. You knew that, Square Enix is working on a game. We know their games are good, so we're now gonna pre-order it. You had that trust. But because we've done it so fucking much, it has become a vicious cycle, like you said, right?
Yeah.
It's become a vicious cycle, and a prime fucking example of this is Call of fucking Duty. Every year they shit out a new one. Every year. This year, it's that whole World War II thing. And now, a lot of you are thinking that they've listened to the fans. They haven't listened to the fans. They saw what Battlefield 1 did, and they want some of that. You get me? If you watch the Call of Duty World War II multiplayer trailer, it looks like Battlefield 1. With the whole spade and, running up to someone and kind of stabbing them with your gun, with your bayonet, and with your whole spade weapon thing, stabbing them with that. It just looks like Battlefield 1. It literally doesn't look like a World War II game that they're going for. They're just shitting it out, but they're kind of polishing that shit a bit before they release it, And there are many, many, many different examples of vicious cycles. I mean, partly to blame is us, because we keep fucking pre-ordering games. We keep buying into that shit. It's like, you see a sexy girl and you're like, damn, what? And you go and hit on her, and then when you actually fuck her, her pussy is wider than the room we're sitting in. You feel me?
Well, that's, I think, part of it. I think because there's this pre-order culture anyway, and it started off with, you get this extra reward, you get this extra reward. I think now it's gone from that to, we can get people to pay money for our game before they even see how shit it is. So it's become a point of games companies will not give a shit about the content they create. They don't give a shit about whether their game is good or not, because they know, it doesn't matter if it's good or not, because people will have already bought it before they find out. Things like, it's almost like a response to Let's Plays and game reviews. The whole YouTube thing, this idea of social media has totally changed the games industry, and it's a weird thing to think about how it could have changed it. But because of the accessibility of exchanging information, the ability to talk about games in a mass way, it forces games companies to react to that. So if they make a shit game, everyone's going to know about it before they go and buy it. And a lot of people will look before they even go and buy it, actively look for that information. So now a response to that is to shovel this shit and say, oh, you get all these extra things if you pre-order it. When in reality, it's, well, our game's probably not as good as it could be, and so we're going to make you pay before you see it, before you realise how shit it is. And that's just going to continue happening. That vicious cycle is just going to keep going round and round and round and round and round. It's ridiculous.
And it also results in early announcements, which I was just talking about. A prime example being Kingdom Hearts 3, which was announced way back, I believe, in 2012 or 13. And I think we were showing like a minute-long clip, or a half-minute clip of the whole gameplay. And you could tell that this was not a gameplay clip. This looked more CGI-ish rather than gameplay clip, and they were trying to pass it off for a gameplay clip, right? And you can tell that they did not work on it. They did not begin work on it. They just shut it out. They just shut the announcement out. No grace, no nothing like that. No nothing like that. And instead, they've kind of said, here's this game, wait for it. And they've been saying that, believe it or not, they've been saying that for 4 years. Up until the recent announcement at E3, they've been saying that for 4 years. After each trailer you watch, it said, now in development. For how fucking long? You get me? I better see about 100 hours of gameplay in that fucking game. 4 years is a long time. I better have a fucking Mickey Mouse world, and I better have a fucking Tron world, and I better have a fucking Tangled, and I better have a fucking Spider-Man world, because Disney now own Marvel. So
it wouldn't surprise me if they shove some Marvel in there at some point.
I better see some fucking Darth Vader boss in there or something like that. Because 4 years is a long fucking time to work on a game like Kingdom Hearts. You get me?
Yeah.
It's a long not even 4 years, I think 5 years, pushing on to 5 years. It is a long fucking long fucking time to work on a game like Kingdom Hearts. I mean, Kingdom Hearts 3, God knows what it's going to be, because there's so much hype behind it. But now, I'm starting to see that people are not trusting it that much anymore. You get me? People are not really reacting to it positively. It's like I said with the Final Fantasy 15. People saw what happened to that, and they're kind of worried about what will happen to the third Kingdom Hearts. People are, me personally, I'm hoping that it comes out next year. I truly am. Because I've been a fan of that for years. Since my own childhood, I've been a fan of that game. But I have this slight, concern that they're going to fuck this up. And they always somehow find a way to fuck it. Sometimes I think they do it on purpose. They have a complete game, and they're like, let's fuck this up. Let's just fuck this up for fun. You get me?
But apparently that's what they did with Deus Ex. They did exactly the same thing with that. What they did was the developers had finished the game, and then and I'm getting this from Jim Sterling, by the way. If you don't know who that is,
kill yourself.
Then I would be surprised if you're listening to this and don't know who that is. Would be shocked. Anyway, that's that side. And in one of his videos, because it had just come out at that point, and he said that he had a contact with someone that was in the development team, and they specifically said that they'd finished the game, it'd all been done, and then the guys come in, the execs come in their little fucking suits and their little black ties, oh look at me, I'm rich and I own a games company, and they turn around and say, cool, put microtransactions in it. What? Put that in there. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I can't deal with these games companies, man.
It's ridiculous to think that they're getting away with it and we're letting them. goes back to that point that it is the company's fault. They are fucking leeches. They are fucking vultures. They're fucking leeches and vultures and whatever horrible thing you can think of.
But it's their reaction. It's their reaction to our reaction.
Yeah.
Which is that vicious cycle. It's how they adapt to what we're doing, and you know, it's...
yeah. And a lot of the time it's not all of us. I understand it's not all of us. Now there's going to be a slow awakening that, listen, we've had enough. Enough is enough, you know? And which is a beautiful thing, you know? But at the moment, the way things are going, because of, like you said, that vicious circle, you've now got unoriginal games like COD, like Activision at one point.
Spewing stuff out.
Yeah, they're just spewing the same shit out. You know, like with EA, NBA 2K17, WWE 2K16. It's like, when's it fucking gonna end?
FIFA 3000.
But that's the thing. It's like they don't even improve the last one. I think with football games, because we're in the UK, I mean, you Americans call it soccer, but it's actually football. But anyway, with a football game, at least give it 2 years. Give it time to put in new mechanics. We don't even get that. It's just, oh, Cristiano Ronaldo in this game looks like Cristiano Ronaldo. Like, who else is he gonna fucking look like? You get me? I mean, is that an actual selling point? And there are idiots out there who get bought by this shit, who actually get bought by this dumb, stupid shit. Some dumb, stupid fucking idiot. Some really big fucking idiot.
Yeah, I can think of one.
Our
friend Peach.
Yeah.
Our friend Peach definitely gets...
The burnt Peach. Fucking idiot. But it's not just him, it's like many other FIFA fans. You go on YouTube right now, type in FIFA playthroughs, and you see all these...
Okay, sorry.
What a cunt he is. What a... Oh, I can dedicate a whole podcast to him. But anyways, yeah, it's like that vicious cycle that because of us, the way we're reacting, unoriginal games are being spewed out. But, however, there is always a light at the end of the dark, shitty
crevice.
Which is, some companies do listen to people. You know, and some companies personally want to try new things. Prime example being Guerrilla Games with Horizon Zero Dawn. What a masterpiece. That is truly a masterpiece. It truly is a masterpiece. And I personally believe that if The Last of Us, one of Sony's best IPs, if The Last of Us and Horizon Zero Dawn came out at the same time, there would be a big clash between fans on which one is better. It's that good, Horizon Zero Dawn. You can tell they took their time with it. They really thought about what they wanted. They really sat down about the story. They really, you know, there was really that whole back and forth between the developers, you know. And other than it being, you know, the executives coming in their little fucking suits and shit and say, look, make us a game. It wasn't even that. It was more that Guerrilla Games wanted to make this game since 2011, you know. And 6 years, it came out this year, I think February. 6 years.
Yeah, it would have been that. Yeah,
6 years to make a game. It's
did it come
astounding.
out? Did it come out in March? It might have been the beginning of
February
March.
or March, whenever. But I know that it came out
around the
March,
beginning of the year.
March.
Beginning of the year, at least.
Yeah, it came out around about that time, and the reaction from it was astounding. I mean, people loved it so much that, did you know Xbox, right? Microsoft, they've been looking for people to make them their own version of that game. Can you believe that? The competition openly wants to copy you. Can you fucking believe? You know Sony are set. You know that. But yeah, you know, there's always bad, but then you have the good, such as Horizon Zero Dawn. The Last of Us as well is also an example. There's a new game called Days Gone, which is also looking...
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Although that's another zombie game. But I think that's a topic for a different time, isn't it?
No, but it looks like they're doing it in a clever...
No, I hope so, and it looks a bit more engaging.
Yeah, well, apparently you can use the zombies to your advantage and everything. And that is brilliant. No other game has done that yet, you know? That is brilliant, and as again, The Last of Us did the whole zombie aspect clever. Instead of doing it the typical, I got bit by a dead person, it was really that whole fungus thing that spread. And
which was even more terrifying. Those fucking clickers and Jesus.
Whenever you heard it, you ran the other way.
Mate, they're more terrifying than the ones that look more like zombies.
But that's the thing, it's like some companies do listen, and some companies like Activision and fucking EA and Ubisoft, they just don't give a fuck. And this is what makes me worried about Ubisoft Beyond Good and Evil 2. It looks like a good game, but that's just CGI. That's not gameplay. That's literally, they just shown us CGI.
Yeah, it's never really something to go by, I guess. But I mean,
that's the problem with Ubisoft. They always rely on CGI.
It depends on the way that you look on it, though, because if you're looking at it from an aspect of the atmosphere that they're trying to create with it, and say this is where we're going, the direction we're going with it, then I guess it's a good example. But it doesn't say anything about the game itself, the gameplay, whether it's going to be a good game. The atmosphere might hit perfectly, but there are plenty of games that have atmospheres that hit perfectly, but because the rest of the craftsmanship of the game is just not up to standard, it just doesn't work. The atmosphere doesn't save it.
Oh, and a lot of these games, when they're announced, they come with the most ridiculous prices.
Holy shit in hell, yeah.
Yeah, like Assassin's Creed Origins, right? You can buy the game, which is about £50, which is still a lot of money for a game like that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right? And on top of that, they had this whole special, I don't even know what edition it is, but it cost £700. And idiots bought it. It was sold out. People went and bought this shit. You can go on holiday in that money, man. What is wrong with you fucking bastards?
Getting a fucking game that you could have bought for £50 and what, with a nice little box as well. I mean, if you're rich, it's just pocket change, isn't it?
Yeah, but I guarantee you, normal people working normal fucking jobs have fucking gone and bought the special crazy edition. I'll call it the crazy edition, because you have to be crazy to pay that price. You have to be fucking lunatic to pay that price. £700. Go on a holiday. Go somewhere like Jamaica and that money. Get yourself some Jamaican pussy or something. They're out here making us pay this much. You can buy yourself a console in that money. And people that went and bought this. And what was that Battlefront 2 pack?
Yeah, there was like you said, some kind of legendary edition. Fuck knows what it's called, but it's like 200 fucking quid. 200 quid. Crazy. It's crazy prices. But they're fucking games. And it goes back all the way back to what we originally said about cutting content, microtransactions, and all this fucking shit that they put into these games. It's or take away from the games, should I say. It just rakes up all these prices and say, oh, we took this out of the game, but you can have it back for
twice the price.
But they're essentially holding you for ransom for your own game. Like, you really want this game, right? But you can have this. You can have half the game, but to have the rest of it, you need to pay us more. Okay, well, am I gonna buy just half a game? No, the answer to it is don't buy the fucking game at all. But people aren't gonna do that, and I'm not gonna sit here and be hypocritical. Like, I would probably end up doing that. I mean, I don't generally buy games unless I think I really want to fucking do that.
Well,
I only ever buy them second hand, really, anyway. But
I mean, they always do this with the best game series, like I said with Kingdom Hearts and Final. Kingdom Hearts has a very massive fan following, and they know this. So they'll probably do the same dumb shit with that. They'll cut content. And then they'll try and blame the fans. They'll be like, oh, you guys wanted the game quick, so we have to do what we have to do. And how dare they, how dare they say such a thing? You get me? There have been game companies that have said that.
It's their fucking job to do it and do it right.
Exactly. And look, We're not getting angry at the developers, the people that make the game. It's not their fault. I know.
No, it's the executives and the people in charge, the ones that want to make the money. I mean, everyone in a company wants to make money. That's a stupid thing to say, but specifically the ones that want to rake in and wring as much money as they can from consumers. Those are in particular, I think, are the ones that we're targeting.
Yeah, we're targeting the executives.
A lot of developers work very, very hard.
You know, they do.
Hello Games.
Fucking hell, man. That was a nice.
That was sarcasm, if you couldn't tell.
But yeah, people are paying these ludicrous prices for fucking some next edition.
Ludicrous is the right word. It is absolutely the right word.
Fucking crazy. I'll always call it the crazy edition, because you have to have lost your mind to pay that much. And again, and now this goes on to the next thing, which is company dickhead, like we were just talking about, where these executives come in and they kind of say, okay, you gotta finish the game, like Square Enix, you gotta finish the game, cut the game up, put in microtransactions, fuck the fans, and that's it. That's all we're gonna hear. I actually respect these developers that come out in secret. That takes a lot of balls to do, knowing that your job is on the line.
They could have their entire career shut down. They can make sure that no one else hires them again.
Exactly, and this is how you can tell the developers actually do give a shit. They give a shit about the fans. They care about us, the people making the game. You can tell that, but at the same time, I mean, the way it is that these people go into making games because this is their passion. And to have that happen to your passion, it's horrible, It's like you create a game out of love and time. It's time consuming, It's like we just talked about Horizon Zero Dawn, 5 to 6 years. That's fucking time consuming. And then you have these executives that come out of nowhere, like I said, for Square Enix, or their stockholders or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah. They come out of nowhere and they say, okay, right, cut the game up, put in microtransactions, and they will not listen to any of the developers. They will not hear any of it. They'll hear none of it. And they'll say, are you arguing with me? Are you talking back to me? You're fired. That's how these lot talk to their developers, the people who make them their money. At the end of the day, the executives are not making the money. It's the developers that are making them their money. It's that whole ladder. To the right at the top ain't doing and these are old fucking
Capitalism.
Men. These are old fucking men in their fucking 50s and 60s, maybe when they're fucking 70s, who have never picked up a controller, who have no the slightest of ideas of what a fucking game is, that come in and say, do this to a video game. It is absolutely crazy, and it all goes down to the staff treatment, specifically Konami, aka Konami, aka the devil of all the fucking video game companies. I mean, they have been treating their fucking staff like absolute shit. Their staff cannot even get health insurance. Did you know that their staff cannot even get health insurance properly without Konami having an objection? Who are they to object to how to the health of their staff? Who the fuck are Konami to do that? You get me? Yeah. Now you understand what Kojima left. A lot of people were skeptical on why Kojima left. There were a lot of people saying, oh, maybe he thinks he's too good for them. But now that the news is coming out about Konami and how they treat their people, it goes to show why Konami left. I mean, do you have anything else to say?
The fucking cunts. I'm just shocked by all game companies that do those sorts of things, that just manipulate their staff and their developers. Like you said, the people making them their money. But I think Konami is a particular kind of cancer.
Yeah.
That you just, no matter how much chemo and radio you have, just doesn't seem to go away. And I don't really know what to do about it. I don't know what can really be done about it, because they just seem so stuck in this position of that they're not going to change, and I don't think that they ever will change. But Kojima's going on and doing better things. He's doing, is it Death Stranding?
Yeah.
Which is, I think we were talking about this, weren't we? Where you said it was like
very surreal. Like
PT. You know how PT is.
PT is. Yeah, I mean he's going for a whole. It looks like going for a very surreal. From what he described, it's very surrealistic.
Mm.
You know, and which is very interesting, because that's what we've learned about surrealism. So that makes me very interested in what he's doing. I mean, for those of you who have seen the trailer, basically, you can see Mads Mikkelsen, the actor. And around him, he's surrounded by these World War II soldiers who are actual skeletons but holding guns. I mean, it's really... I just want to see what this man is up to. What's in his head? What is he doing? Like, you get me? Like, I really want to see what he's up to.
I feel like he's finally got
that
room
freedom.
to explore creativity. And that's another thing that not just Konami but other companies do. It's just they just crush these guys' spirits and crush their creative freedoms, and it's not really any different to things like Hollywood, where you have to maintain and follow a certain list of conventions. You're not allowed to have that creative freedom.
Yeah, this is why I don't watch superhero movies anymore. The last superhero movie I watched was The Avengers, the first one, and that was way back in
2012.
Yeah, way back then.
That was 5 years ago. Jesus.
I have not watched any of them other than pirating them online. So yeah, I visit a couple of pirates and get my movies sorted out that way. But no, I refuse to. It's like you said, Hollywood is also guilty of the fucking cancerous things they're doing. I mean, now you have Spider-Man Homecoming remade for the third fucking time.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you again, when it goes back to Sony, Disney don't own the right to Spider-Man. Sony has loaned it to them, I think, for like 2-3 years or a couple of years, and they'll go back to Sony, and then there'll be a whole other reboot. You know? It's just crazy, man. And this is why when I saw the game Spider-Man, which looked fucking incredible,
it did look fucking great.
It looked like Sony are trying to outdo the movie, to me.
Well, I mean, if
the whole timing of it, and it's called Marvel Spider-Man, but I think it's completely dislodged from the Disney aspect, and I feel like this is to compete with the whole movie, Spider-Man Homecoming. Because in this one, in Spider-Man the movie, in the new movie Homecoming, you have Mary Jane or whoever it is that's black. Spider-Man's love interest is black, whereas in the game it follows a comic book where Spider-Man is black. He's Miles Davis, I believe.
What in the which one in the game?
In the game.
But no, it's still Peter Parker, but there was an Easter egg at the end that Miles would be in the game. And I think it's for a co-op thing, like they'll.
Are you sure it's Peter
together.
Parker?
It's definitely Peter Parker. They specifically said it was about the character of Peter Parker.
But it looked like they might show that the man.
Well, that's what I think. I think. I mean, I know this is going straight off of topic, but I think that the game will be about the end of Spider-Man. I think it will be Peter Parker coming to the end of Spider-Man in whatever way that will be. And I think in the I'm pretty sure it's canon that he dies. Spoiler. Oh well. And Miles takes over as Spider-Man after Peter Parker dies, and because they've thrown him in there, I don't know if it's just a cheeky, Easter egg, but it'd be really good, really interesting, because so many fucking Spider-Man games are all about, and superhero games in general, really, minus maybe the Batman, Arkham games, are all about, except Origins. Oh, getting off track. Are are all about superheroes beginning, whereas I think it'd be interesting to see one come to an end, and I think that probably... not probably, but I think that would be good if that's what it was, and wouldn't be surprised if they did.
I mean, we hate Konami so much, we've gone off topic.
Well, we needed to like soften that...
soften the mood. But also, it's not just Konami treating their and the reason we're using Konami as an example is because they've done all this shit, and it's out in public.
Yeah.
Whereas Activision and EA and DICE and... EA, Activision and what's the other one? Ubisoft.
Oh, yes.
It's not actually known. It's quite well hidden, if you get me. And they've managed to shut people. Whereas Konami, it's been leaked. But anyways, it's not even just how they treat their stuff, it's how they treat their IPs. Prime example, 3 big, massive examples being Castlevania, or as the Americans say, Castlevania, or Silent Hill, or Metal Gear. The cream. These 3 are what Konami is known for. They've turned all 3 into fucking pachinko machines, and they've given Metal Gear a whole fucking Call of Duty zombie.
Yeah. Oh.
No one's gonna buy that, by the way, and if I find out you dickheads that bought it, it really makes me lose hope in the whole gaming fucking spectrum. I mean, honestly, they've gotten away with this again, and they're gonna get away with it.
Yeah, they will. They will continue to get away with it.
But it makes me feel like that their whole... Eventually they will be bought out. Eventually that, or they'll disappear.
Yeah, that won't surprise me.
It looks like it's going in that direction. When their stock falls, either someone's gonna buy them, or they're just gonna disappear. Which a part of me hope that happens. A part of me doesn't, because again, the employees, where are they gonna go?
Somewhere where they can actually get health insurance, probably.
Hope. But the thing is that they have.
But I don't know how many of them are stuck there under contract, though. You never know. If it goes under, it may be a case of freedom, because I don't know how the contracts work for developers, but it wouldn't surprise me if developers are contractually obliged to stay with the company for a certain amount of time, so that you're not going straight to competition.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of like working for Sainsbury's and Tesco's at the same time. Oh, if you're not British, you're not going to get that joke, are you?
Nah, for them, if you're working for Walmart and Best Buy. But honestly, to finish it off, man, to finish it all off, they're cunts. They will always be cunts.
Fuck them.
And yeah, fuck them. Fuck them all to hell. But yeah, this has been quite the tumor on our game, and they'll continue to do it. People wake up. Please wake up, everyone. Please fucking wake up!